So you want to live full-time in an RV and travel all over the country. Well, do you renovate or do you buy a new RV? We're going to answer that question in this video. So the first thing you have to ask yourself, if you're going to live in an RV full-time and make a decision whether you want to buy new or used, is this: what's your time frame? That's a huge decision. Are you going to spend a year saving money and then go? You going to do it right now? Have you already saved the money? Do you have a plan? Do you have somewhere that you think you want to go first? These are all important questions, because if you think you're going to renovate a RV and then just take off in a few months, well, I got news for you. It could take up to a year to a year and a half to renovate an old RV. And then you have to ask yourself, what's my budget? When we made the decision to renovate our 76 Airstream, we thought, it's going to take, 6 months at least. Well, we were completely wrong, and that's a huge mistake that we made. Were we ready to go live full-time in an RV? No. But we thought we had plenty of time to save money and to renovate the Airstream, all while still working full-time jobs. Well, the big surprise is that it was twice as expensive to renovate our Airstream, and it took 3 times as long as we thought it was going to take. But all in all, did we still save money by renovating a 76 Airstream than buying a new RV? So we hear a lot of complaints about new RVs nowadays. They're not made with quality, they break down, they fall apart within the first 6 months of a brand new purchase. So one of the things that we kind of made the decision a while ago was that, well, if we renovate an older Airstream and completely take it apart and put it back together again, well, we're going to know every single screw, every rivet, every plumbing, electrical, you name it, we're going to know it, because we really did it ourselves. Now, the bad news is that we did it ourselves, so we don't have a warranty. We don't have anybody to go back to and say, hey, this broke and you need to fix it. So that's one of the downsides of renovating a older vintage trailer. But the upside is I know every nook and cranny of this Airstream like the back of my hand, because I did it myself. As you can see, the PEX pipe comes all the way back around the Airstream.
Well, really it boils down to the fact that everything that we're doing is extremely tedious. Not only are we having to learn how to do it, but we are also having to make the mistakes as we go, and it ends up taking so much more time than we could have ever anticipated. So where we say, oh, let's just do this today, it turns into, oh, let's do that for the entire weekend. So to give you an example, today I'm actually putting in the fuzzies on our screening for our windows, and I thought, oh, I'll just put the fuzzies in today, but really what it meant is that I have to clean all the old glue off of the back of the screening to be able to have a clean surface to apply it. I have to learn how to now take apart the fuzzies and apply it, and what the best possible scenario is to keep the bugs out. And so now I'm having to choose what the most effective glue choice is to be able to do it, because the initial glue that works well for fabric is not working for us, and I'm finding it extremely challenging to work with, and it's kind of ruining the project. So I have to now find a different idea for the glue that is going to more effectively work for us. And so it's a process. It's taking me probably 12 hours to get to this point, because then I had to clean it and dry it, and it's just one thing after the next. So it's where, a factory might put in the fuzzies for me, and I'm like, oh, this is a great bug, proof idea. It's now taking me almost a day and a half just to apply the fuzzies and get them ready for install. One thing that you really need to be cautious about, especially for you women, do not be fooled by Pinterest, by Instagram, all of these feeds that show these beautiful renovations. It doesn't necessarily mix with reality. And that is one thing we quickly learned. And so a lot of our original designs were based off of the visual presentation and things that we visually were very attracted to. Very quickly we learned that that wasn't a very practical use of a build, or it wasn't practical for living. And I can't even express to you enough, be cautious about looking at others when you're ready to renovate, because it can really lead you down this like very exciting road that doesn't necessarily correlate to functionality.
The other thing to consider if you're going to renovate an RV is where you're going to renovate it to. Where you're going to hold it. Where you're going to store it. So those are literally the little things that you have to consider if you're going to renovate an older RV, is time. That's the big #1 factor when renovating an RV, is how much of time that you're going to spend and how much is your time actually worth. The other thing about renovating an old vintage RV, or renovating any RV really, specifically an Airstream, is that you spend a lot of time picking out a lot of things that have already been picked out for you. The type of faucet, the type of sink, the type of electrical system, the type of bathroom, the type of shower. All these things take a lot of time when you're renovating the project. So if you're going to renovate, our biggest probably advice is
save everything. And I'm really serious when I say that. Everything that you remove from your project, save. Try and demolish in whole pieces. Try and save everything that you can. Templates were huge for us. Photographs are important. Take as many photographs before you demolish as you can. It's going to save you an enormous amount of time in the long run.
Have a plan. Have your design way ahead of time before you even start taking anything apart in your older RV, because when it comes down then to actually start putting things together, you're going to want all of your items, everything in sync to where it goes, and that's going to help you build. So the big question is this: do you renovate or do you buy a brand new? So here's our advice. When you set out your budget to renovate a vintage trailer, for example an Airstream or any vintage trailer, whatever that budget comes out to, double it. Take that double amount and then see what you can buy brand new off an RV lot. It's probably not going to be much, depending on your size and depending on what your lifestyle is going to be. So the next thing you want to look at then is how much time you're willing to put in that renovation process, and what resources do you have to be able to give you support on the renovation process itself, because it's going to take an extremely amount of time, and your time is precious, so you have to factor that in on a renovation process. If that then becomes way too long, if the process becomes way too difficult, then buying a new RV may be for you. Again, it's all about your lifestyle choice and how you want to travel full-time in your RV. Do you want to know every nook and cranny of it? Or do you want someone else to know every nook and cranny of it? Do you want to spend a lot of money for new? Or do you want to spend a lot of money to renovate? Everything is about your lifestyle. For us, it did take a little bit longer, but in the end, we're really happy that we took a vintage Airstream part of Americana and we brought it back to life. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this video. We really appreciate it. Hit the subscribe button and the bell notification so you always get notified of our next video, because we're getting ready to do the reveal and you do not want to miss that video.